Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Next Day Podcast, the podcast where we discuss different topics. So this one again is just me, um, kind of following with the bonus episode last week. This is being recorded actually right after that. So again, it's just going to be me for reasons that Mikel may or may not explain. But he just needed a day. So let's get into this. This is a 3-topic episode. And the topics for today are former school board executive or whatever has been charged with mail theft, an electronic eye implant. We're going to talk about that. And Ticketmaster will be banning multiple accounts. So let's jump into the episode. First topic. So, a rare criminal charge has been laid against a high-ranking former executive who left the Thames Valley District School Board in the wake of a spending scandal in senior leadership exodus earlier this year. Lyndon Nichols, who is 57, is charged with 1 count of mail theft. She was previously the associate director at the Ontario School Board before going on a leave of absence in September 2024 and leaving the board in March 2025. Public salary disclosure documents show Nichols made $250,000 in 2024 and $260,000 in 2023. Police say that between July 22nd and August 9th, 2024, a school board employee responsible for sorting incoming mail noticed several Canada Post envelopes with similar handwriting, each addressed to different staff members. The employee reported this to Nichols, who was their supervisor. Police say Nichols instructed the employee to open one of the envelopes not addressed to them. Inside a letter contained anonymous allegations of misconduct by school board officials, including Nichols, police allege. Nichols told the employee to shred the opened envelope and hold on to the remaining letters. When school board staff returned to work after the summer break, Nichols told the employee to distribute the letters to the intended recipients' mail slots, police said in a statement. In October 2024, after Nichols went on leave, an internal school board investigation revealed that one of the letters had been stolen during the summer and in July 2025, and that theft was reported to London police. Nichols is scheduled to appear in London court in November. Well, this is what I haven't already. School board officials say they can't comment about the charge, writing, quote, "We continue to move forward with a clear focus on accountability, public trust, and student achievement." Nichols was among a handful of top executives who left the school board in the wake of a spending scandal, which saw senior leaders go on a retreat to Toronto despite mounting financial problems at the board. The scandal eventually forced the resignation of Education Director Mark Fisher, and the Ontario government took over the school board. What is going on with school boards? Because we talked about another school board before. Like, what is going on? Anyways, that is that topic. Let's move on to the next one. So, in the New England Journal of Medicine, researchers announced that they restored some vision to elderly patients with a common eye disease thanks to an electronic retinal implant. Age-related macular degeneration, or AMD, is a common but untreatable eye condition that usually impacts people over 50. The progressive disease happens when aging causes damage to the photoreceptors in the central part of the retina. The international trial's results offer hope of treatment for the condition, which affects about 200 million people globally. The study involved 38 participants with an average age of about 79, who all had advanced AMD. The participants were treated at 17 sites in 5 countries across Europe, where they received a tiny implant, about half the thickness of human hair, beneath their retinas. 80% of the participants had clinically meaningful improvements to their vision a year after implantation. Quote, "In the history of artificial vision, this represents a new era," said Mahi Mukit, who is an ophthalmologist at the University College London's Institute of Ophthalmology, who led the United Kingdom portion of the trial in a statement. "There are two main kinds of AMD, wet and dry." Ooh, wet? What is that? Ew. I hate that. Dry AMD is more common, though it is eventually though it can eventually progress to wet AMD. This study only included participants with dry AMD because people with dry AMD will retain some of their photoreceptors. The term of researchers thought a light-sensitive implant could convert image information into electrochemical signals that can be sent to the brain. The participants then received augmented reality glasses with a camera linked to a small computer worn at the waist. The glasses capture images and project them as infrared light onto the implant. Artificial intelligence algorithms in the computer turn that data into electrical signals that the brain interprets as images. The participants also received months of training to learn how to interpret these signals and regain their reading ability. Quote, "This is at the forefront of science," said Dimitrios Vavas, the director of the Retina Service at Massachusetts Eye and Ear, to Gina Golata at the New York Times. Vavas, who was not involved in the study, tells the outlet that the device is the dawn of a new technology that will advance. Still, there are limitations to the work. A retinal degeneration research working on treatments for vision loss, who spoke to Liam Drew at Nature on condition of anonymity, said that the intensive visual training the participants received and the motivation generated by receiving an exciting new medical device might have led to improved tests. The results would have been more robust if gains had been demonstrated relative to a randomized placebo group that had received the glasses and training protocols but no implant. The study's authors also acknowledge that there's room for improvement in future studies. "I don't think we'll ever be able to restore full 20/20 vision with the implant alone, but we are investigating tricks that could further improve people's quality of life and take them above the threshold for legal blindness," said by Jose Alan Sahel, an ophthalmologist at the University of Pittsburgh, who co-led the trial. One of the main requests we hear from patients is to be able to recognize faces and emotions again, and that's something we're working toward. The patient's improved vision was in black and white, so another goal is to add the software that would help resolve grayscales and enhance them for face recognition, says Daniel Palanker, an ophthalmologist and electrical engineer at Stanford University, who co-led the research to Chris Sims at New Scientist. Palanker, who wants to improve the device's resolution, so far reports the New York Times preliminary tests in rats have been successful. And that is that topic. Let's move on to the last and final one. So, Ticketmaster will bar users from having multiple accounts on the platform, the company said in a letter to lawmakers. Don't know when this was. After Ticketmaster and its parent company, Live Nation Entertainment, were sued by the Federal Trade Commission over allegations of colluding with scalpers and violating the Bots Act. The policy change, disclosed in a letter dated October 17th to Senators Marsha Blackburn and Ben Ray Lujan, after the lawmakers wrote to the company demanding answers over that lawsuit. Marks a significant change for Ticketmaster, which also said in the letter that it would be closing Trade Desk, its ticket inventory platform that allows ticket brokers list their tickets on multiple ticketing sites. Quote, "I want to assure you that Live Nation and Ticketmaster share your commitment to supporting artists and fans and protecting the integrity of the live entertainment industry," said by Dan Wall, Live Nation's Executive VP, Corporate and Regulatory Affairs, wrote in the letter. Unfortunately, the recently filed lawsuit does not advance that shared objective. The FTC complaint presents a distorted view of the facts and the law. The better online ticket sales or more particularly the Better Online Ticket Sales Bots Act. While we would prefer to work with the FTC on addressing the real threats to the live event industry instead of litigating these claims, we look forward to setting the record straight here and, if necessary, in court. The FTC first filed its suit against Live Nation last month, alleging that Ticketmaster coordinates with ticket brokers and allows them to skirt ticket purchase limitations on the primary market so that they can sell them at a considerable markup for millions of dollars of additional profit on the secondary market. Multiple Ticketmaster accounts and trade desk empower scalpers and put fans at a disadvantage, the FTC added. In the letter, Wall called those claims categorically false, describing the premise as a conspiracy and that it makes no economic sense. Wall said Live Nation / Ticketmaster, which comprises about 20% of the secondary ticket marketplace, only makes about 3% of its revenue from secondary ticket sales and less than 2% from secondary ticket fees. Regarding brokers' use of multiple accounts to secure concert tickets, Wall says it's been standard practice for decades across the entire ticket industry and harkens back to the days of physical tickets when ticket brokers would often have a number of employees or others paid to stand in line and purchase concert tickets. And while using multiple accounts to get tickets isn't technically illegal, Wall acknowledged that it has gone out of hand. We, of course, understand that the emotional force of the FTC's lawsuit comes from the fact that some ticket brokers today simply have too many accounts. It doesn't matter whether it's lawful or unlawful. What started as a reasonable and acceptable level of behavior has been abused, and today it is growing exponentially through digital exploited means. It's unfair to artists and fans, and it is time to do something about it. So starting now, Ticketmaster, which appointed a new president, is now adopting a policy allowing all of its users to have just one account, brokers included. Wall said the company expects scalpers will do everything in their power to undermine us, but added that Live Nation would use AI and identity verification tech to enforce the rules. All tickets listed for resale will require a taxpayer identification number, and excess Ticketmaster accounts will be canceled in due course. Trade Desk, meanwhile, is Ticketmaster's version of similar broker tools like StubHub's Ticket Utils or Vivid Seats Skybox, software that streamlines sales for ticket brokers by letting them list tickets they've obtained on multiple ticket marketplaces. Ticketmaster called the FTC's description of Trade Desk as technological support for unlawful ticket harvesting as plainly false, further clarifying that Trade Desk has no functionality to buy primary tickets. Nonetheless, Wall said, we have come to the conclusion that the reputational harm to Ticketmaster from having to explain and defend Trade Desk exceeds its value. While we believe this criticism is unfair, we are removing Trade Desk Concert's ticket management functionality from the market. The FTC suit is just the latest major litigation Live Nation faces. Last year, the Department of Justice filed a major antitrust lawsuit against the company over monopoly claims, calling to break up Live Nation and Ticketmaster. Live Nation has vehemently denied these allegations as well, but that hasn't stopped criticism from other stakeholders in the business. Live Nation's actions on resale, detailed in a letter to Congress, are too little and too late to get back the trust of fans, artists, and stages, the National Independent Venue Association said in a statement, further calling for Live Nation to voluntarily cap ticket resale prices to no higher than face value. They apparently got caught opening up their systems to predatory resellers, which is a betrayal of fans and artists. This looks like an attempt to clean up their devastated public image following the Federal Trade Commission's Strong Bots Act and deceptive practices case against them, Neva continued. Based on the suit and this letter, we have seen clear evidence that Live Nation and Ticketmaster are in bed with scalpers, and resale platforms like StubHub and Vivid Seats benefit daily from it. And that is that topic. And that is the episode. So we'll be back on Thursday for our third Black History Month episode. But until then, hopefully we'll be back with Mikel for that episode. But yeah, until then, guys, that's it for this episode, and we'll see you on Thursday. Bye, everyone. If you liked what you heard with our podcast, you can head on over to our website, which is solo.to/next take podcast. There you can get any of the links to any of our social media, which is Facebook, Instagram at Next Take Podcast, and Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Next Take Pod. You can also find links to our Reddit page and many other things, I'm sure. Can't remember all off the top of my head. You can also email us at mikeltanyka@gmail.com. There you can send us any inquiries you have, any questions, or also any episode ideas. And if you do have episode ideas, just make sure you put in the subject line episode ideas, and we'll add it to our list. If you also liked us, you can like us, rate us, follow us on any of your favorite podcast apps. You can rate us, however, on Spotify and Apple Podcast. We would greatly appreciate that. And we'll also move forward and share or spot a light on those who give us 5-star ratings in the future. That is it for us. We'll see you next time for the episode.